The Coffee and the Company Podcast Season 2.
This is easy. This is just a normal day at work.
I have not tell you this story. I've dumped at least 10 hours worth of recordings. Dump it away.
What do you mean dump?
Abolish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's more than 5 sessions.
Because you're not happy with...
Because sometimes I forgot to press the record button.
No.
Sometimes I recorded a very echoey quality.
And it's so like your session is done. No point.
Cannot even listen, man. Yeah. It's it's very annoying. I don't even want to listen. By the time I trying to do the recording, after I do recording post-production, man, I just don't feel like want to edit this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Dump it away. I'm lucky that I have my apprentices to tell me, it's okay. We can always re-record again. I'm so lucky. We do the same. But the energy is not there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can't replicate...
the same topic. Again, we repeat the same topic again. The energy is not there anymore.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me. That happened with my last podcast a couple of months ago.
Yeah?
We recorded and the file was corrupted.
Yeah.
And
part of the process, man.
They did ask if I wanted to re-record.
Yeah.
I was busy at the time.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen in the end.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunate.
I have 2 guests, very close friends of mine, right? I'm so glad they're also willing to come back and re-record again.
Yeah.
Or else it's not corrupt, it's echoey.
Okay.
I didn't really know how to solve the issue. But then, I don't feel like I want to, even 10 minutes of editing, right?
It's too much effort.
Let's just give this up, man.
It's part of the process.
Anyway, we are recording right now.
Awesome.
Let me just do a clap before we continue. 3, 2, 1. All right. You know what's a clap for?
Oh, when you edit.
Yeah, to synchronize. Yeah, so that nowadays it's pretty good for edit because the AI from the Adobe or CapCut, the editor, they can recognize the curves, right? So when you have a spike of clapping, that captures the video from there and the camera too, and also the audio recorder. So you just sync together.
Wow.
So it will lip sync.
The AI stuff that's the paid version of CapCut and Adobe,
No,
right?
no, CapCut, I believe there's a paid version. I think it's 40 ringgit per month. And what they do for you, they try to string the video for you. For example, you have a 1-hour podcast. You want to do a highlight, right?
Yeah.
They will select, they will pre-edit, then they draft it and show it to you.
Wow.
That's the AI.
So it really saves a lot of time for you.
You can even put down, I want 1 minute, I want 30 seconds from 1.5 hour. They will select the 30 seconds best for you.
They'll pick the best.
Yeah. The highlight.
Parts.
Yes. Of course, it's
AI.
Of course, CapCut. What's good about CapCut, right? Every week there's an update one. 500 MB updates, right?
Yeah.
So it keep on improve weekly and weekly and weekly. So right now I have almost 3 weeks never use CapCut. For sure, there's an update. Once we update, right? Everything gets better.
It will be a lot.
There are more things inside. There are more contents inside for you to choose. The AI is getting smarter. For example, let's say if I want to have a caption, as we speak English, right? It's the best one. It's getting smarter and smarter. The right choice of words that capture our pronunciation. Yeah.
Less editing that you have to do on your end.
Yeah. From the February first time I used CapCut until right now, it looks the same. But I feel like the caption wise, right?
Yeah.
Because the AI try to capture what you're talking, right?
Yep.
Try to write down what you're talking. It's getting smarter.
Wow.
Getting smarter every week by week.
Yeah.
And I did not pay for my CapCut for the AI, the highlights, the Reels highlights. I did not pay for that. But I know I have friends who pay for it. And they're using it every day. There's one called a Yum Cha session.
Yeah.
They're using that. So they have like 2 clips a week from their podcast. They're using that. Jonathan,
Yeah.
he's the guy who told me that they're using that as well.
So that
It's very intelligent.
They do the first draft of the
Yeah,
edit,
of course you have some
and then
minor edit.
Yeah.
For some
that saves a
some
lot of
words
time,
are not capturing. It's like Malaysian words are not capturing, but it does the work for 80%. Yeah. So that's why it's very fascinating. I'm glad that I started the podcast February.
Yeah.
Which everything is set and go.
Had a good time. Yeah.
Just imagine, man. Probably like 5 years ago.
Hours
Lip
you
syncing
need
is
to-
like pain in the ass, man. Lip syncing. Because they don't have lip syncing yet. They don't have a synchronization between audio and video. The time. So you have to match the clap.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I tried that before, man. It's really pain in the ass, man. It's like the clap, right? It looks the same, but how come after the
not
clap,
perfect. So
then the person speaking, right, is not speaking the words, but the clap
Clap is there.
Yeah, his clap is there.
Yeah.
But how come the speaking words, right, is like some milliseconds of delay? Yeah, so I tried that before. It's like, I'm glad there's this function.
Yeah, no. I mean, actually, talking about AI, we have recently subscribed to a service.
What sort of service?
For the gym.
Okay.
It's a lead. I mean, with the gym, we always focus on generating more leads, right? Leads to more appointments coming into the gym.
Website?
Through everything.
Okay.
Website
Google
lead
ads.
or ads. They can come through Facebook, Instagram, social media,
I see.
or a call even.
Yes.
But these are marketing agencies that they do the standard stuff, which is they help you to set up Facebook, Instagram ads that will drive traffic to your business. But on top of that, they add AI to it, and it's like an AI chatbot. So they can already start speaking to the prospects if
Like
they see
customer service?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Okay.
So they see an ad on Instagram or Facebook, free trial at a gym in Hatomasa. Click, and it takes you straight to WhatsApp, and you can already start chatting to the client. So this can happen at 2 a.m. when the team are sleeping, for example.
Okay, I want to ask you one question first. Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm very excited.
Okay, go
for you
ahead.
to know. Does this chatbot get smarter week by week?
So we haven't started yet.
Oh,
so we
okay.
will learn. But I believe so. I mean, the more data is input,
Yes.
I think it will start to figure out,
Yes.
what's the best answer, the best way to.
Yes, that's what I want.
answer. Yeah. And I think the more data you give, then the better and smarter it will work.
Yeah.
So in this case, how they will help us. That's the proposal. They will already start talking to the client. We can program some answers, and we can also make it as
FAQ. You can program the FAQ for the chatbot.
Well, we can also program when they reply to the message, so it's not. So the customer doesn't really think that they're speaking to a bot, right? So it's not an immediate answer.
They can delay it.
They delay by a couple of seconds to
Wow.
reply. But main thing is they can already set an appointment for you without any of us doing
Yeah.
any of the work, right? So, we can sleep tonight and a lead comes in at 2 a.m., starts talking to the bot. When we wake up, we check the phone,
form.
the calendar. All right, we've got an appointment at 10 a.m. This person's coming at 10 a.m. And all we do is we got to be prepared and wait for them to come, and then it's up to us.
How do you found this chatbot? Did someone come to you?
So actually,
to you
it
and,
was
proposed to you?
It was introduced to me by a good friend of mine. Actually, he's based here. He set up this system. But it's funny, technology. We started talking a lot about these AI chatbots, blah blah blah, and it started appearing on my sponsored ads on my phone, Reels.
Even though you did not
I didn't
search for it.
Search for it at that time, after
that is
our
scary,
meeting,
man.
I just
Yeah.
scrolled through my phone and then boom,
Chatbot.
more of these services are available. And so we went with another company in the end because they provided a little more. We start soon, so we hope. Well, I will update you and see how it goes.
Man, I would like to know how is it going, right? By the end of it.
Yeah, because end of the day, if a lead comes, like we get an inquiry on Facebook or Instagram, a couple of things can happen. If it's at 2 a.m., we won't reply till the next morning, right?
Yeah.
So there will be a delay in response. Depending on who picks up the phone, the quality or the consistency of the answer will be different as well. So that cuts...
Intentionally?
No.
Okay.
Just maybe one person answers in a certain way.
So there will be, when this...
multiple people have access
sleeping time,
to...
then there will be like chatbot to entertain the customers. And then on the daytime, working hour, then there will be like...
No. So
No?
any of the leads that come through these ads that we set, the chatbot will handle.
Chat will handle it. Yeah.
So yeah. No, I was just talking about the difference.
Okay.
If we didn't have it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, if we didn't have it, then there will still be inconsistencies in our replies.
All right.
Response time. Sometimes we might miss.
Currently, how many person is handling replying the inquiries right now?
We have about 3 or 4 people with access to...
Including you?
Including me, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, in this case, speed is king. So whoever gets the message first replies.
They get the business?
Yeah, technically, whoever
Yeah.
handles it, that's their client. If they can close that business, close that membership or
I assume
whatever.
those are your trainers, right?
No, we have membership consultants.
Wow.
So they're the salespeople.
The sales.
Yeah. The trainers are really there just to do their thing, which is training, right? No, trainers are really, they're just trainers. If you tell them to do sales, they're maybe not so comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very lucky. We over here have to do everything.
Yeah.
So the trainers have to do sales, and also, one of the trainers who's my full-timers, his name is Edmund. He's doing sales for me as well, digital sales. He's learning how to reply doing quotation and reply the inquiries.
Yep.
Through my experience.
Yep.
Also, I'll coach him. Yeah. So now, understand that you are the owner of this gym, Union Strength. And we had a chat. Yeah, I want to let the audience know that we had a chat last week.
Yeah.
You drop by, check us out, see whether we're legit or not.
And the other way around, so you can see if I'm legit.
Well, now I'll have to let you know. A few of my guests appeared on my doorstep first time.
Wow.
Chat in
for the
through WhatsApp
podcast.
For the podcast.
Wow.
I'll give you some names. This Poon from Tokpok, Jalan Batai. There's one kopitiam over there. He's selling the pork nasi lemak.
Yeah, I've heard and seen this guy. Yeah.
He came to my podcast as well.
Okay.
Very interesting guy, very funny guy as well.
Great character.
Yeah, great character, and I laugh non-stop.
Seems like a funny guy.
Joker. Yeah, such a joker. And also another BFM radio host. His name is Daniel Fernandez.
Okay.
He's a car reviewer.
Okay.
I've been listened to his show since 2018.
Wow. Okay.
But his show started like 2017 in BFM.
Okay.
In BFM, in BFM. Of course, the show prior to BFM, it was in the Light FM. So he was there for 12 years, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then... I've been listening to him since 2018. And then one fine day when I started this podcast, right? Hey, Daniel, I just DM him.
Cold DM, like,
Cold DM,
you've not
man.
met him before.
He replied me.
Yeah.
He replied me 1 month later.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, yeah, let's do it." At first I was thinking, does this old man whether he check his Instagram or not? Because it's not read for the past 30 days.
Yeah.
Then suddenly he replied me, "Yeah, sure. I check all your materials already. Let's go."
Done.
Yeah. So first time met up, doorstep.
Did you have any?
7:30
Or was it
AM.
just like, all right, come in, let's sit down, let's chat? Or
No, we of course I made him coffee.
Okay,
made him feel comfortable. It's a morning, 7:30 in the morning.
Okay, wow.
I made him feel comfortable. Then we had a chat non-stop. We had a chat until I think we started our podcast recording about 9.
Oh, wow.
About 9.
You had a long chat
We
before
had a
the
long
actual
chat.
podcast.
We had a long chat.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a long chat like long lost brother just want
Yeah.
to catch up for after 20 years.
Oh, awesome. That's cool.
Yeah,
Meant
so
to be.
he enjoyed it. I know Daniel is very cheeky. This guy, Daniel Fernandez, Mr. Daniel Fernandez, he's very cheeky. So I've been listening to his shows, right? So I know his character a little
I
bit.
assume you're a car guy.
Not really a car guy, man, but I was very captivated
By him.
by his
Okay.
personality in the show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was like, because you don't really have a car show, just voice car show. Because the car shows, right, usually in YouTube TV format, but you don't really have a car shows the listening format.
Yep.
So that's one of the rare. And also, I still remember the time when I always listen to BFM, but not at night time, usually in the daytime. And I was visiting one of my students, and then I turned on BFM. How come? There's one talk show, which is this talk show called Cruise Control. They were discussing about JBJ, new rules, Euro tax. That's very fascinating. How come there's this show discussing about JBJ stuff, car stuff? Then onwards, they were reviewing used cars through listening format.
Wow.
Ever since, I never skip a show.
Wow.
I listen every episode every Wednesday.
Wow.
I know if, let's say, Daniel's listening, I'm so disgusted when you guys skip some of Wednesday.
Some
Some of Wednesdays.
Oh.
Like after I turn on, damn, they have an off day again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's no show today.
Yeah. Wow, they
I
need to
usually
take a break.
listen into Spotify, right? So the next day I turn on my Spotify, turn on the channel. Oh, there's nothing new. So they have an off day last night. Yeah. So those are the guests that really show up on the first meetup.
First time, yeah.
I think there is one or two. They came to me as well prior.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised at how trusting you were with,
Well, dude, this is a public area, man.
Yeah.
Security guard waiting for me.
but the podcast could have
Yeah.
gone horribly wrong. I mean, I guess you don't need to post it if it was a bad one.
No, don't have to worry about that. We just now. I always tell my guests, when I invite them at the beginning of the time, I invited my friends to come over for a podcast. Interesting friends, right? Who does business, have some interesting characters. The first thing they usually will tell me, I'm not good at talking, Dennis. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Because why? When I select my guests, right, when they are not mute, they are not deaf, I'm sure they can talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'll drive the conversation. Whatever we discuss, whatever we talk over the lunch table,
will be
it is
the
a
same
podcast.
here. Yeah, that's
It's
true.
a podcast,
Yeah, that's
man.
how
It's
I
just
view it.
Non-recorded. Now it's recorded with a headphone.
Yeah.
With coffee.
Yeah.
A little bit different with a colder aircon, mic in front of you.
Yeah.
But,
some lights.
yeah, some
cameras. Yeah.
But it is still the same conversational style that I'm conducting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, I have nothing to hide. By the way, to the listeners, I'm glad today you're the first guest DM me to want to be in my podcast.
You're doing something right. You're doing something right. That's awesome. That's
So,
awesome.
I'm very glad I told the people surrounding me finally have a guest to DM me and want to be my guest, and I check you out. You do workout. You have the gym. You're owner of the gym. So I say this guy must be legit. Yeah. So yeah, sure, let's do
Gain
it.
trust already. Yeah. Okay, awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be the first.
You're the first that DM me and then you got invited.
Yeah.
Still, I go invite you. Come and invite you.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. But
cool,
yeah, it's very interesting that we have a long conversation that day. Got to know you more.
Yeah.
You survived the MCO lockdown as well, just like I did.
Yeah.
But I think you have heavier burdens during the lockdown than me. Because during lockdown, I was consider myself as a side hustle business, but you're not.
Yeah.
You have people surrounding you, on your shoulders, the stress on your shoulders. How did you survive through the time?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough time.
Yeah.
Very tough time. And I think, like you said, it's exactly that. Where we didn't have a big team, but we also didn't have a small team.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of responsibility that's on your shoulders to.
How many of you were the time during the lockdown?
At that time, I would say probably
10?
like 10 full-timers.
Yeah, 10 full-timers.
And then we had maybe about 5 or so part-timers.
Part-timers, yeah. 15 of you.
About there, yeah. Or a little less, but around that, yeah. So yeah, it was a tough time, and don't get me wrong, throughout these years of lockdowns, there were many times where I thought
you want to give up,
just
right?
give up, and at that time. So it's a family-run business. It's me mainly running it, but my parents are involved. Obviously, on the financial side, they supported me. So, when you're a staff, you have any issues, you speak to your boss, and then maybe that boss has another boss, and then that boss maybe reports to the owner. But for me, the only person I could really speak to above me was. I mean,
Nobody.
No one really is. My parents, right?
Yeah.
So all the issues we had to go through my parents. We had many very difficult conversations, and I remember at one point
conversation regarding want to make the decision to stop the business.
Yeah, and obviously it revolved around financials, right? And there was a lot of, do you want to continue? Do you want to push through? What's the current situation with COVID? Do you think we'll be able to open soon? And there was a lot of back and forth, but I remember there was one final conversation that we had, and I don't even remember what we spoke about, but it was at that conversation where I thought, you know what, I've decided I want to push through. I don't care what is in front of me. I will make sure this works.
Sorry, I want to stop you for just a little bit of context first. Yeah. During the lockdown, right? That was your third year of business.
No, we opened end of 2017. So
2017.
you can count 2020.
2020. Was
yeah,
lockdown,
you can count 2018 as our first year. 2019 was our second year. 2020 was coming to our third year.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, first time business owner at that time, I still very much felt that we were a very new company and we were still getting on our feet. And even for me, there was a big learning curve as well. But yeah, I think COVID was the best, but also the worst. The worst, but also the best thing that happened to me, because I felt that was what turned me from. That's what turned me from just being a small-time business owner with small dreams to, you learn and you want to take all this responsibility and you want it to grow. There were a lot of things that needed to change. I think COVID really exposed a lot of our weaknesses. And when I decided that this is what I really want to push for, then I said, okay, we got to fix it, So, yeah.
Did the landlord give you a pain in the ass?
So that's a funny one. Your
premise is in the mall?
It's in a mall.
It's in the mall, right?
So our landlords is the mall management.
Yeah.
We have, throughout the years, we have a very up and down relationship. Okay. Typical landlord-tenant disputes. But the good thing about COVID was and this is a big reason why we were able to stay afloat. They didn't really bother us with rentals during
the
COVID
lockdown
period. They didn't really bother us. And I know at that time, many gyms especially, and many businesses, but in this case, many gyms closed because their landlords still charge full rent or they still said you got to pay on the first week of every month, blah, blah, blah. In our case, we weren't. They left us alone. I think they also understood that
The situation.
It was a tough time. They understood the situation. In most cases, we were the first industry to close and the last to reopen as well. But the difference was when we opened and we were back in business, then the management will come with a nice love letter.
Yeah.
This is all the months that
Invoice.
you owe to us. Yeah. They gave us some
time to...
they gave us time, but they also gave us some discounts at times, depending on the 3 different major lockdowns that we had. They gave us different rates of discount, right?
I see.
So leaving us alone during the lockdown period was good because it allowed me to have one less thing to stress about.
Yeah.
But of course, I think they were willing to work with us. When we opened, they gave us that letter. Fine. I also understand that they also have many costs to recover. And the mall was still open. They were still paying security guards, electricity.
Even though during the lockdown,
even
right?
though it was closed, they still need to run all this for A, safety, and B, to maintain the
building.
The building, So they had their costs to cover as well. So we understood that. But main thing is they were quite cooperative in this case.
Were any of your neighbors just move out during the lockdown?
We had a few, yeah. We had a few, but I think the F&B tenants maybe had it a bit better because they were still able to operate. They could do
deliveries
and stuff like that. So the times where I dropped by the gym just to check it out, maybe clean the equipment, etc., I still did see that there were people there handling delivery, F&B, but like the beauty industry, we're also neighboring
the beauty salon,
and they were also heavily affected. So
they're very similar with yours, right?
Similar.
So always first to close and last to open as well.
Yeah. So
I still remember during the lockdown I have to shave my own head,
Oh yeah.
Because we are not allowed to go out.
Yeah. That my wife, girlfriend at the time, she cut my hair once during COVID.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I think all the couples does the same thing. They all did the same thing.
Yeah.
My wife cuts my hair once, then she give up because she's so afraid that she will cut my skin.
Did you have a razor?
No, we don't use razor with clipper.
Oh, just a clipper.
Clipper is safe, right?
Wow.
I was trying to explain to her that she doesn't understand. She says she'll walk out and she's so scared that she will just shave off my scalp.
I get it. I mean, at the bare minimum, if it's a bad haircut, you're still at home, right? No one can see you. Yeah.
Looks like a prisoner during the first lockdown.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
so tell me. You weren't from fitness industry at first, yeah? And what were you doing prior to the business? You were doing this business for the past 7-8 years right now?
Yep.
So what were you doing before that? What inspired you to start this business up?
Yeah, my story really is obviously it started with passion, right? But growing up in school, I was always the sporty guy.
Okay.
Sports and fitness was a big part of my life. I played football at quite a competitive level, and
what inspired you to have such a physical activity kind of guy? Is it because of family, or is it because of relative, or some sports stars?
My family. So my father is quite sporty. He was quite sporty growing up, and so I think that got passed down to my older brother, who also started sports at a young age. And I was the little brother that was watching and observing, and I quite liked what I saw. So I think I had early exposure, and then the schools that I went to also promoted
heavily
sports and exercise, physical education in school, and I guess it came a bit naturally to me. I had athletic qualities at a young age as well, so it was something that I felt was it was easy for me to excel at. So that was always my thing. I was known as at one point the football guy. When I was old enough to realize that I wasn't really that good of a player.
Okay.
And
Because
I
of?
dropped the idea of playing professional.
Okay.
Partly because an injury.
You have an injury?
I tore my ACL. I had surgery. And it was that. And yeah, I mean, the reality was I wasn't good enough to play at the top professional level, you know?
To compete with others, right?
Yeah. I think I was good at probably semi-professional level.
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking about professional level where you play every day, and the people who play professionally have been playing every day, training two times a day over the last 10 odd years. Those are the real professionals.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I also had I had an education as well. So the next step after football didn't work out was just to get a normal job, right? So it started off as that. I was in the IT industry, and then I eventually moved to e-commerce. So I did e-commerce for about 3 years. But I was also and still am surrounded by a lot of entrepreneurs who have flexible work hours. And at the time, my friends were working for their parents. And I guess I got a bit jealous, like, how come they can take...
they got the opportunity, but not you?
They can take leave whenever. They can meet for lunch whenever and take as long of a break as they wanted. Me, I had to think about how much leave left do I have, and will my boss allow me to take leave to do, join in them with whatever trips or, So I was a bit jealous of that. And I guess I was getting a bit tired of my 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
At one point, work got very hectic, and I was working out just once a week, which to many people is a lot and is a blessing. That's considered a good week.
It's normal. Yeah, it's normal to many people.
Yeah, but for me, someone who grew up exercising a lot, once a week, I just didn't feel myself.
Yeah.
And at that point, I said the only thing I can think of is starting a business in something that I'm quite passionate about. So that's where eventually the gym sort of came into place. When I stopped playing football, then I started going to the gym more often. That was my outlet.
Yeah.
You
do you mean that lifting heavy weights and stuff like that? Lifting weights, right?
Lifting weights. Yeah. So that's what sparked my interest, and then that's why when I decided.
Okay.
So my final, the year I handed my resignation in my old job. I think it was 2017, in January 2017. That's when I told myself, okay, you're going to open your gym by the end of the year. Because obviously I still needed an income, and I wasn't just going to quit and, plan this. So right until October, so pretty much 10 months, in the first 10 months of 2017, I wore 2 hats. Daytime, I had a daytime job, nighttime.
Okay.
I was already working on my business plan, checking out weekends. I was checking out sites to potentially move into. I was speaking to equipment suppliers, speaking to contractors, designers, so on and so forth. And it was pretty weird because I had my 9-to-5 hat, but it was so different from my entrepreneur hat. And eventually that was going on. And by October, I felt I had done enough to be able to resign. And so a couple of months before that, because I had a 3-month
serving notice,
2 or 3 months serving notice. So I probably handed it in a couple of months before that. So I left in October, and by December that year, so the next 2 months, that was when we launched. So it was interesting times. It was a bit of excitement, a bit of stress, and I was tired. But the funny thing is, a lot of my colleagues back then, they said, "Oh, I respect you. It's so nice that you found your passion, but I also respect the risk you're taking." You know?
Okay.
And I think that was, I mean, good and bad. It was like I was naive. I was young and naive, and I guess I didn't really know what I was getting into.
Okay.
But I was so passionate about leaving my job and starting something that I really enjoyed that I also didn't really think of what if it doesn't work out. So, bit of good and bad. I think if I overthought, analysis paralysis, maybe I would never have started.
Yeah. You're just stop over there, right?
Yeah.
You're overthinking.
So sometimes in this case, being a bit naive and not overthinking is also a good thing. And I think that's why, when they were telling me this, I was like, I'm just doing it because I want to. You should do it as well, And the other thing that I heard is, a lot of people also said, you're lucky you know what your passion is, because I still don't, And then you realize that there are also people that still don't really know
what they want,
what they're quite passionate about or what they want to do in life. And so in that sense, they're stuck with their job that they don't really like.
Yeah.
So yeah, end of the day, I count my blessings. I'm glad I figured out what I was really passionate about. And I went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what makes you want to start off with, I heard your premise quite big, 5,000 square feet, about that?
We started at around 4,000.
4,000.
And then we extended the lot. So now it's
5,000.
Just over 5,000, yeah.
But what makes you not to start off something small, like a shop lot?
Again, good question. A big part of that was naivety.
Okay.
I guess...
you want it big?
I didn't probably... And the hard truth is I probably... Because this is my first time getting into business, A. B, this is my first time... starting a gym business, I didn't really know what was big, what was small.
Okay.
I guess I didn't really
that is the size that used to go? Was that's the size that used to go to the gym?
I went to bigger gyms.
Okay.
So I was a long-time Fitness First member. I mean, these gyms are 10,000 plus square feet, right? So in fact, in my head, I'm opening a small gym.
Yeah.
Right. But now I'm obviously seeing a lot of these smaller gyms, the shop lot gyms, and it's a lot smaller. And in fact, our second location that we're in the middle of planning is also going to be slightly smaller than this current gym. I guess because I have a better grasp of dollars and cents and the value of what is expensive, what is cheap, and so yeah. So to answer your question, it's naivety. To me, I thought it was a small gym.
In
comparison to
celebrity.
where I was, celebrity. Some of these gyms are even 20,000 plus square feet.
Mid-Valley, right?
Mid-Valley, that's a huge gym. Great facility. They've got I believe, a swimming pool and a basketball court as well.
I've never been there before. Have you been there?
I've checked it out once or twice, yeah.
Right.
Nice gym. And it's always busy.
I still remember those were the days. Jackie Chan used to be the ambassador for celebrity fitness.
Yes, that was back then. It was California Fitness.
California Fitness.
Yes, yeah. You would see his face in that big poster. Yeah,
big poster over there.
Yeah.
But not too long there, they closed it down.
Yes, yeah. I mean, those were the early days when commercial gyms was still relatively new to Malaysia.
Market, yeah.
So those guys killed it. I mean, they brought in a fantastic concept, 10, 20,000 square feet gym. You pay one fee, which is quite affordable, and you get everything. Unlimited group classes, you get a shower, changing rooms, sauna, steam room,
swimming pool.
Some had a swimming pool, some had a basketball court, and then a full suite of gym equipment for this one small price. Malaysians weren't used to it at that time, Now, I mean, you fast forward 20 plus years later, there's so much options out there.
We've seen so many things, right?
Yeah. At different price ranges. There are now gyms that just focus on, the commercial gym does everything under the roof.
Yeah.
but now they break it up and they specialize. So you have personal training gyms. All they do is personal training. You'll have group class studios. They don't have the gym concept. They don't do personal training. They just do group classes.
Or that sounds like Fly Project, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Over here. Yeah. So they started to segmentalize the whole gym business and said, I'll just take a portion of it and I'll just focus and go all out there.
Yeah.
Some just do the gym as well, no other services. It's just pure membership gym or a walk-in gym. So there's so much options out there now.
So which one are you?
We still follow the commercial gym route, which is memberships, personal training, and group classes. But I suppose the only difference is we focus a bit more on the community aspect of it. Our gym membership base is a lot smaller than a bigger commercial gym. But we're able to capture the people who want to train with us. I think they value a bit more of a personable experience and a close-knit kind of experience where they want to go in and actually meet friends. And community, yeah. And that's one thing that I love about Union Strength and a lot of the smaller boutique fitness gyms. You see a lot of people who start and they know no one, but give it 2 weeks, they'll start hanging out with them outside of the gym. And so it's a very welcoming community in that sense, versus a bigger chain commercial gym. No disrespect, but it's just not their focus. Half the time when I was a member at the commercial gym, I would just put on my earphones,
just do your thing
and leave. I'll say hi to the 2-3 guys that I know, and then that's it, right? So that's where the smaller players can differentiate themselves in. And yeah, we start to see that many of our members, they really value that. And while they can pay the same amount and go to a bigger chain gym with more branches, more equipment, fuller stack of group classes, they still prefer to join us because there's something else that we can provide that the other gyms can't. So
I see.
Yeah.
The day I just saw in the IG story, right? The IG Reels, one of the IG Reels. I saw one of very interesting concept in United States. They have container. Yeah. So you can book for your time.
Yep.
You can work out alone.
On your own.
Yeah, on your own.
With all the equipment inside.
Equipment's inside, whatever you need. It's very small, like this unit, one unit over here.
Yep.
It's a container, so they place it right next to the corporate buildings. So you can just use your app and access, book and access and pay.
Yes.
And then you just work out during lunch hour, during a break, during your, before work, working hour.
Yep.
Just work there, and it's very interesting that I never seen something like that before.
Yeah. No, I've seen that on Instagram as well. Yeah.
So I can't believe like right now the progress of all these technologies has come to like this.
Yeah, I'm sure that is partly due to COVID as well, to an extent. But I think that's largely based on the culture of where you're setting it up. For example, I don't think that would work well here. People aren't that serious about fitness over here, or it's a very small population. Of people who would, they love to work out so much that they'll book a slot and they'll train on their own. Right? I think the closest to home that would likely do well in that is Singapore.
Yeah.
They're
the
crazy
working
about
culture,
fitness,
right? The working out culture is quite good over there, right?
Yeah.
They're very similar with Australians.
Yes.
They're very similar with Australians.
For example, in Singapore, I visited a Pure Gym. It's called Pure Gym. It's a big gym chain brand, global, and they actually provide gym clothes. A top and a bottom and a towel.
Okay.
So in Singapore, so all the customer or the member needs to do when they go to work is just bring their shoes, their gym shoes.
Okay.
Lunchtime, they'll go to the gym, they don't even need to bring their gym clothes. They'll pick out the shirt, the shorts, and the towel. They bring their shoes with them. They work out. When they're done, they shower. They throw the clothes out in the laundry basket, and that's it. Here, it won't work that way. Yeah, there's no point because I guess over there, it's really about, they're very focused on work, right? So they want to, the workout is a must, but they got to do it quick during their lunch break and then boom, out, back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also heard that Australians, the fitness first, I think celebrity, one of the celebrity co-founders got interviewed. Australia is the earliest operating hour.
Wow.
They open probably 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
It was queuing up already.
Yeah, it's
it was queuing up, waiting for the gym to open, right?
They're another
level.
Malaysia should aspire to be that.
Yeah.
It would be great to see that happening in Malaysia in the near future. But yeah, it's just culture over there. Over here, it's unfortunately a gym membership is considered a luxury. If they have extra disposable income, oh great, maybe I'll think about getting a gym membership. In Australia, it's like a necessity, or in the West for that matter. You need to have money for rent, to pay rent, to pay your utility bills, and it's just as important as having a gym membership. Over here, it's different. Yeah, and it's also to do with the pricing.
Yeah. I think have to do a lot with our upbringing as well.
Yep.
Our upbringing. Me myself, I got inspired a lot from my father's. He always the one who encouraged people to work out, especially swimming. He loves swimming. He loves to swim. Yeah? And because why it is the only sports you can do heavily, it will not hurt your joint.
Yes. No impact.
So there's a new workout. You can just lifting weight in the swimming pool, right? There's a class about that.
Yes.
So he always encouraged me and the whole family to go work out. Trying to warn us. You don't try not to have, when you're old age, then you start to regret not to use your muscles. So my upbringing is that.
Okay.
And when I go to school, right? No, it's funny, nobody gives a shit about sports.
Yeah, you told me last week. I remember. Yeah.
So I'm very blessed to have this my father to remind me. Even until right now, he still remind me. He still remind me that he's so scared of, because my auntie, who is 80s, having dementia, and which is his sister, eldest sister. He's so afraid that the next person could be him. Sitting on a wheelchair, have stroke, all this. He keep on reminding me, please go and work out. Those are the warning signals, right? That whoever the relatives got stroke or on a wheelchair, it's a reminder for me as well.
You
have to work out very hard and use all the muscles before the muscles give us up.
Yes. It's a thing when you get older, your muscle mass will decrease at a higher rate.
Yeah,
you can reverse that.
Especially our legs as well.
Yes, legs.
The one who carry us. So usually at the old age, the 60s and 70s or 80s, right? The first thing, they are on the wheelchair. That is something is very heartbroken for me to see.
Yeah.
They're on the wheelchair, and the next thing you know, they have stroke, and then they have dementia. Because they can't work out, they can't go out and morning walk anymore. Yeah, they're constantly on the wheelchair, and they can't do anything. Yeah. The brain starts giving up, dementia. Yeah, and then the next thing you know, they're not doing anything with dementia plus a stroke. That's quite normal for a traditional Malaysian how the ending sounds like and looks like.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is the education.
Yeah.
They are not aware of the importance of it. The access to food is another one. You go to a hawker stall or a mamak, You can eat affordably. You can have very affordable food options, but the quality is not great. You know, you want to eat well,
Carbs all
you
the
pay.
way.
Yeah, a lot of carbs
Yeah.
and sugar in the mamak. But yeah, I mean, if you wanna eat healthily, there's a price that you gotta pay,
Yeah.
which to many is really not worth it. You know. So yeah, I think education is a big part of it. And 100% it should be implemented in the school systems as
Yeah,
well.
I think in the school have to do something about this, right? So,
Yeah, I know that there are some local schools that focus on sports as well, but not all. you
Yeah,
know?
I think it pretty much depends on the individual,
Yeah.
perspective of the PE teachers and stuff like that, and of course the headmaster as well, the individual perspective. But it should be enforced in the federal way. Yeah. So tell me, what's your day like, and what's your diet like
My
when you're at your prime? When you think this kind of routine, this kind of diet, you'll be at your prime.
So in terms of like my gym routine,
Yes.
yeah, I think I'm a lot smaller than I was when the gym opened. I think when the gym opened, I was very much into lifting heavy. So I feel good, look good, and all this. As I got older, I started to care less about these things. I've probably lost about 5 kilos compared to when I was at my biggest. But back then, so I'm what you call a hard gainer, meaning it's hard for me to gain weight.
Or you were skinny type of people.
I was, I mean, not, I wouldn't say skinny, but to put on weight, I really had to
Work very hard on
work hard,
lift very weight.
eat a lot, lift very heavy in order to gain weight. So well, I guess my prime, I would say, in terms of having a lot of muscle mass, I was tracking my food using a mobile app. Yeah. I was trying to eat, like 3,000 calories a day.
During you work out every day, 7 days? a week?
I was working out 4 or 5 days a
Lifting
week,
heavily.
and I was lifting quite heavy. Yeah. And I had days where, because obviously I was still running the business, and I had days where I would get home at 11 p.m. It's late, and I'll check my food tracker, and I realize I still have like 1,000 calories left to eat at 11 p.m. And it's no fun, stuffing your mouth with food before you sleep. So I would literally just raid my food and see what else I can put my hands on to eat, and stuff myself before going to bed at 1 a.m.
What happened? Let's say you just jump straight into the bed with calorie deficit, like 1,000.
I
behind.
guess then you don't you're straying away from your goal, which is to be on the surplus to gain weight, right? But the downside to that is, I would stuff myself 1 hour before bed, but I would have very bad quality of sleep because I'd be bloated. I'd feel so full and uncomfortable. I couldn't really sleep. But yeah, so really it was a mixture of that, and then probably you would say intense training in the gym, with a body split. Sometimes one day you'll do legs, one day you'll do chest and tris and back and bis, or however you want to split it. And then the intensity is quite high, but that was it until I think I started to lift certain weights, and it took a toll on my body. And I also said, why am I lifting this heavy? It's not like I'm competing. I'm not getting paid to do this. Why am I putting all this heavy weight on my shoulders and squatting? Didn't make sense.
Did you get yourself hurt during the process?
No, that's actually another reason why I like the gym, because it's very controlled compared to what I was used to, football, where you can get injured, sure, by yourself, but someone else can tackle you badly, and so that's what I liked about the gym. But But the downside is my body started to change. I was lifting more weights. My muscles started to get more tight. So much so that when I wanted to try and play sports,
Other sports.
football, or I just felt slow. I was immobile. I wasn't as quick as before, just because my body wasn't used
That
to it
flexible
anymore.
anymore.
Yes, yeah. So I think that at that point, that's when I decided to, I want to get back into playing sports and be able to pick up a badminton racket and say, "Hey, let's play," or someone invites me to play football. Yeah, sure, I can play again. So that's when I dialed down the training and I stopped using these apps and I just eat when I feel like it. And,
Do you still eat clean nowadays?
I try to.
And can you define what is clean?
So when we cook at home, I mean, firstly, we're not chefs, so we cook very, very, very basic food. So between my wife and I mean, we just we have rice, veg, and some form of protein, usually chicken. That's when we have time and we can think about cooking. But when we don't, we eat out, we still try and look for a healthier option, high protein at the very least. Yeah. And on top of that, I still take supplements that also help my body stay healthy and stuff like that. Yeah. But nowadays I'm doing a lot more cardio. So I don't really think about the quality of food so much. It's more, I got to get the calories in so I don't lose too much weight. Yeah. So purely dependent on your goals.
I see. You know, I want to tell you this as well. Right now, currently, I'm probably 80 or 81. Before I started to go to the gym, one very inspiring friend I used to work with as a colleague, ex-colleague, right? Right now, he's a very close friend of mine. He's been to my podcast as well, Ryan Key.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And when I met him, I was 55 kg.
At this height?
At this height. Same height. I was like 25, 24.
Wow.
Yeah, 25, 24. Yeah, when I met him.
That's literally
a walking sticks.
Skin and bones.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you like that growing up? You were always a skinny kid?
I was.
Lanky.
Because just like my grandpa and my father, they were slim, but not skinny. They were slim, athletic slim.
Yep.
And I was stretching up and getting my height stretched, you know.
Yeah.
And as I work and after graduated, then I started working. And, I can't really access the food there. I used to have I used to stay with my auntie and they prepared food, Food is quite on time.
Yep.
When I work, not really on time. Yeah. So, along the way, when you work outside, there's a pressure and then you don't eat on time, then you don't get skinny.
Yep.
And also, we're not educated to check on calories, stuff like that.
Yep.
So I graduated without any smartphone. No, that time there's no smartphone.
Yep.
So we're not that educated as well. So along the way, it's getting skinnier and skinnier.
Were you questioning yourself? Like, why am I getting, I don't know why.
I start noticing myself.
Yeah.
Like, how come I'm getting longer?
Yeah. Just being stretched like this.
Like a rubber band being stretched upright. So until I met my friend, I was told when I was growing up, oh, you look like your grandpa, you look like your father, skinny, slim. That's part of your gene. I ate a lot. I don't know what's a lot, but to me, there's a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of effort that I put in. That means a lot. Until I met my friend called Ryan, right? Ryan told me, no, dude.
You're doing it wrong, dude.
You don't know what's a lot.
Yeah.
So then he told me, you want to make some change of your life? Sure. Follow what I eat. What kind of stuff I order? You followed the amount. Yeah. Right? The price and amount. So he brought me to KFC and 7 pieces of chicken breast.
To himself.
Wow. Then I have to follow.
Yeah.
Finish it. Cold sweat. No skins.
Force feeding yourself.
Yeah. No skins. No skins. All the skins have to be taken off. That's part of the game. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the best part. You can give the skin to me.
No skins. No chili sauce. No skin.
Yeah.
Just the white meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we did a lot of crazy stuff. We had Japanese a la carte buffet. He called this dirty buff. Right? This dirty buff regime. So we had a Japanese a la carte buffet. That means you pay 44 ringgit. You just order point from the menu, just
All
keep
you
on
can
refill.
44 ringgit, all you can eat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sashimi. First thing we target the proteins, right?
Yeah.
Tuna, sashimi, salmon. I think we almost eat the whole fish. The whole damn big fish.
Why
right?
not?
Almost 100 slices of sashimi. Each one of us.
Wow.
As equal. So with all this crazy stuff, right, I've been through, right? And then I start to see myself, oh damn, my face is rounder. Like I see myself every day, right?
Yeah.
I see myself in the mirror every day. Even that frequent, I start noticing my face is rounder. And most of my friends, probably 2 weeks never seen me.
Yeah.
Dude, what have you done?
They could see a difference.
They could see a difference. There's a respect over there. What have you done?
Yeah.
Dude, you got rounder.
Yeah.
There's surprises, good surprise to them. Good surprise to them, yeah? And over the time, right, I felt like my life has been changed. More confident. And able to get another job because I looked more confident.
Wow.
I was applying a sales job for a longest time.
Yep.
And finally I got another one. And I told myself I probably have to do something with that. The dirty buff regime.
Yeah.
That really built my confidence a lot.
Yeah.
And also I just not really eating alone.
Yep.
We were doing crazy gyms as well.
Yep.
4 times a week, and then probably like an hour and a half,
Nice.
a day. We were lifting heavy weights the time. Within a month, I think, within 30 days, I gained 20 kilo from 55 to 75.
In 1 month.
1 month.
That's
1 month.
wow.
That's why it really surprised me when I look at myself in the mirror. I see myself every day. It's growing, my face.
Yeah.
Then my friend told me, dude, we gotta stop this shit, man.
Yeah.
Because why? It's too dangerous on the borderline.
Yeah.
We might get cholesterol.
That's a significant weight gain in 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the moment because I have a scale at in my room, 55. All right, the C55. Right. During that 30 days, right. Every day is like 1 or 2.
Yep.
Sometimes like 0.5, it's not quite normal.
But this was just jumping and
Wow,
jumping.
The moment I saw 70 is coming.
Yeah.
The achievement, the confidence. But I did work out very hard on that.
Yeah.
I have to emphasize on this.
I believe that also.
So that is part of the rules. I have to follow Ryan's meal. And also I have to, we have to promise ourselves we work out 3 to 4 times a week.
Yep.
And, that's really for me to avoid any shit happens to heart attack, cholesterol.
Yeah.
Because it's a really heavy load. Every time lunch hour, I have, damn.
You'd work out at lunch?
No. We work out at night.
Okay, after work.
Lunch hour is the time.
It's
the time, man. Yeah, just the time that we really whack the shit out of ourselves. We really have to remove our belt and stuff like that. Crazy, that extreme. Wow. And every time I look at the clock, about 12 o'clock, damn. So worried whether I got survive on this time.
But I imagine your appetite also during that period also just skyrocketed.
It spikes up, man. It spikes up, man.
Yeah.
I can't stop eating. That's the dangerous part.
Yeah. But that's the thing about when you lift weights, you start to crave and look for food.
The good thing about that, right? I eat heavily in the morning, heavily at the lunch, dinner time. I tend not to have desire.
Okay.
Yeah, for food,
Yep.
snacks or what. I do not have all this, a supper routine, supper habits in my entire life.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So that's what one of safety part
Yep.
that I have as I was growing up. I do not have the education having supper every night.
Yep.
Supper once in a while, quite rare that I will have.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one thing I really like about this kind of determination training, right? It builds confidence.
Yeah.
It really built me up.
Yeah, and we
Character wise, yeah.
we see that a lot in our gym.
Yeah.
They come in and sorry to say, but they're nerdy looking guys with they walk in like this. They're a bit shy to
low
inquire.
self-esteem,
low confidence. But the moment they start to meet friends and they start to find workout buddies, and they go home and they read they look at YouTube videos and they get inspired, and they look at other people in the gym and they aspire to be them. You start to see that firstly they're standing up more upright,
straight.
They're not hiding anymore. They're talking to everyone, and you can see their confidence is next level. So I mean, we see this a lot, and it's great to see.
Yeah.
Even on a confidence standpoint, what that does to your quality of life is huge.
People have to understand this, right? Working out is just not to be look good.
Yep.
There are many people that I know of working out. It is a form of, to relieve the stress. Yeah. Sometimes you're working your work or your business so stressful, for example, you need something to work out. You need to have an output channel.
Absolutely.
Or else you go mentally outbreak, right? You broke yourself in mentally. And I know someone that workout really helped a lot of people to get away from depression.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So in my understanding, working out, lifting weights, stuff like that. Not just lifting weights, but probably like jog as well. Exercise overall. It's mentally and physically training.
Yeah.
It's a mentally and physical training.
Yep.
Not just physical, but it's mentally as well.
Mental, absolutely. There's a huge mental aspect to exercise. And like you said, it doesn't have to be lifting weights. It can be any mode of exercise.
Yeah.
And what that does to your body, you'll thank yourself later.
Yeah, I believe also like our genetically, we are designed for heavily workout.
We're designed to move.
We're designed to move. Yeah. We are designed something we are not designed for. We're not sitting down in front of the laptop, in front of the monitor for 8 hours straight. Yeah. That's not what we're designed for. We're not designed to be in front of tablet and before we sleep. That's not what we designed. We are designed to wake up very early. We're designed to go out and hunt animals, for example, our ancestors, hunters and gatherers, go out and agriculture to popluck the fruits and then gather up for the village. Those are part of the exercise as well in ancient time. So there's an aspect that we work out very hard. And then we have a lot of sweats coming out, dehydrated, then get rehydrated. It's the feeling, right? It's so happy.
Yeah.
It's so happy.
Yeah.
Every single time.
It can change a bad day into a good one or a decent day,
Yeah.
And again, that's why I love it. That's why I still work out to this day, because the feeling after is great.
Okay.
And I mean, put it this way, you can feel bad about working out, or you can feel lazy to start the workout, but you'll never feel bad after. So even if you're lazy, you had a really terrible day, once you work out, you're pretty much guaranteed that you'll feel better after. And you'll never regret a workout. No one regrets a workout. So that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
So tell me, when you started this business, right? Come back to your business. Do you get any advice besides your parents? Do you get any advice from your friends or relatives? Are they encouraging you to ask you to go or ahead for this?
Yeah, I think generally there were no roadblocks in that sense. I think everyone was very supportive. And I think based on my personality and who I am, I'd like to think I'm a very responsible guy and very level-headed. So even with a lack of business experience, I don't think people thought I would go crazy and, do something stupid. Yeah, I think the closest advice, obviously, other than my parents, was a good friend of mine, actually, who is the guys who opened Fly Project. Yeah, they actually opened their first studio about a year and a half before we opened. So he used to give me a lot of advice. He was starting his journey, and they brought the concept of spinning fly cycle at the time. They were one of the first guys to bring it to KL, so it was good. It did very well off the bat. This is a new concept. I think people really enjoyed it. So I got a lot of advice from him. And then between him and my parents and family, friends, yeah, they would give advice once in a while. But nothing was really discouraging, which is good. Which is good, yeah.
So let's say you have young siblings, or let's say you have young relatives come to you, your cousin sis or your cousin brothers, whatever it is, or young men come to you. Would you advise them to start a business? It could be a gym, it could not be a gym.
Absolutely. I would encourage entrepreneurship. But is entrepreneurship for everyone? No.
Why do you say so?
I don't think everyone has the grit. And in terms of business ownership, you think the glitz and the glam.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it, I think you have to be reasonably level-headed. There's so much ups, but there's also so much downs.
Yeah.
And you just need to, do what you can to stay afloat. And that's not for everyone, really. That's not for everyone. And if business was easy, you'd see more entrepreneurs out there, successful entrepreneurs. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I wouldn't discourage. What I would say is, ultimately, even though it's your passion and you say you love it, it still needs to make financial sense.
Yeah. Okay.
If this is all you dream about and eat, sleep, breathe, but you show me the P&Ls or the forecast and it's actually not making money, then you believe me, you're going to hate it, So I'll never discourage it, but I will always encourage that you make it financially sound as well. Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give a young man for business advice, right? What kind of advice would you give a young ones? After all the years you've been through, the hiccups, MCO,
Yeah.
And
quite similar to your one of your first questions. I would probably encourage them to start small first, and prove your concept first. And even better, if you can actually work for a startup before you actually do your own thing, where you still have, it's a startup, it's a small business, so you also still have contact points with the actual founder or co-founder or whatever to really learn the ins and outs and what troubles they go through, and really start to see if this is for yourself. That's probably how I would go about it if I were to do it again. I'd probably work for a small gym, and then see, if it's really great, then I would start. Yeah. And I think on top of that, probably find a good mentor, someone who's been there, done that in that particular industry, because they can really guide you. Yeah.
Do you see a brighter future in terms of fitness industry?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely see it's growing. It's growing a lot in Malaysia, especially post-COVID. I think more and more people are health aware, health conscious. They know the importance of leading a very healthy life. I mean, you can even see it in just walking down the streets. You see more people wearing fitness activewear, compared to 10, 20 years ago. So that's a good sign. You are also starting to see more and more fitness, new concepts opening up, even brands from overseas, seeing Malaysia as a viable place to expand their Asian operations. And like I said, you're starting to see many different concepts. So I think we're going in the right direction. My outlook on the industry as a whole is very positive. And but we are still a number of years behind our neighboring countries like Singapore and even Thailand, for example. But we're getting there.
Yeah. And what is your what kind of brand would you be inspired? Like, for example, do you have a brand in mind that there's a good example to you, or do you have someone that's a good example, or business, could be other industry, there's a good example, or role model to your that what you're paving yourself up to? Do you have a brand that
I think that,
or person
that always changes. But I do think it's important to have something to look up to. As of the last couple of years, I've been following an Australian-based brand, which is doing fantastically well. They're called Revo Fitness, REVO.
Is a gym?
It's a gym. It's a gym. Very similar concept to what we're doing, but they probably have bigger spaces. It's like a commercial gym setup, but they have a bit of their own flavor to it. And truth be told, to make decent money in this, I think the business model is to really scale and open more and more locations. But they are on a whole new level. They're literally, it looks like they're opening one new branch every month. For example, I think they've got a huge financial backing.
Right. Are they overseas yet? Are they?
I believe they're just in Australia for now. I don't know if they intend to expand. And I believe they recently won an award for one of the biggest, maybe one of the fastest growing gym brands in Asia. That's really nice to see, because they've got a great community. They clearly got big financial backing to open many. But we're not really looking to open so many gyms to the extent of like what Anytime Fitness are doing at the moment. I believe they're aiming for 100 locations across Malaysia in the next couple of years, and they're just new ones popping left, right, and center as we speak. But I think a good number for us to aspire towards for now is 5 or 6 locations in Malaysia. We don't need to be huge. I would rather have less gyms, but make them really good gyms, if you know what I'm saying, where we can still handle the control, the customer service, that personalization, that I think you will lose naturally when you open and more, right? And their strategy is totally different from ours. So yeah.
Okay.
I would say 5 to 6 here in Malaysia. Then who knows, regionally, in the Philippines, for example, that could be something that we could look into. But yeah, not to the extent of the big chain commercial gyms.
Understand.
Yeah.
Do you plan to have diversify your business? Any plan to have other brands than Union Strength? Do you have like For example, you want to start off something related to health, like supplements or
Yeah.
F&B, healthy food, stuff like that.
Always open, to be honest. I think as far as Union Strength goes, I think on the gym front, I think that's likely gonna be the only gym brand that I will be running. But on that front, we can still spice things up by partnering with other brands. Like what does very well in Singapore is there's a gym, a strength gym with a rock climbing facility, a rock climbing wall inside. So you'll get a bit of like the rock climbing lovers, and at the same time, the members can also enjoy a gym.
The gym.
Yeah. So it's kind of like cross promotion, if you like. We could also partner with we can open next to a football AstroTurf to make us more attractive as a gym, and stuff like that. So in terms of the gym brand, I think we can collaborate with other modes of exercise to make it a bit more of a exciting offer.
I see.
But as far as other brands in other industries, I think, it would be great if we could eventually open something within the space that would also complement the gym. Open to ideas.
Yep.
But I mean, of course, we have to always be open about these things. Yeah.
Do you have something in mind for probably the next 10 years plan? Let's say, for example, this gym been, it's been done, right? Everything is autopilot. Would you
The
have
next step.
would you have next step to bring the game or something to complement the gym?
Yeah, I think it's something that we continuously look at. Like, I mean, for example, my wife and I are always looking for other opportunities to see, what we could bring here. If there's any new product or service that we could bring here. Nothing in the pipeline yet, but we've brainstormed many things. But so far, nothing really has materialized. But that is one of our plans for sure. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So right now, I understand that you're having second location up and coming for the planning of second location. Would you have any planning for more locations near future?
Yeah. But I'm a very
Will it be like central, Klang Valley centric?
I believe so. Yeah. At the moment where fitness in Klang Valley or in Malaysia stands, it doesn't make so much sense yet to go out to the other
States.
bigger states at the price points that we have, and also just location wise. I mean, the other states that we could eventually look into are Johor, Penang. These are probably the ones that we would look into next. But I think there's a lot more that Klang Valley still has to offer in terms of that.
I see.
Yeah.
When you first started this business, right, before the COVID, were you doing all right? Like, was it like a healthy margin for the profit?
I would say we were doing just enough.
Learning phase, the time.
It was the learning phase. I think I wasn't so business minded yet. We always did enough to cover our costs, which is at the bare minimum at least. Yeah. But I mean, let's just put it this way: when COVID hit, like I said, our business was really exposed. Our weaknesses were really exposed, and there was a lot to clean up. And it needed. There was a lot about changing, and there's a big difference between running the gym based on passion and running a gym based on how do we make money, and those are the things that we had to tweak for sure. And all this happened, it was a big reality check when COVID hit. That's when we realized, okay, you can't mess about anymore, Yeah.
Wow, that's really tough, man.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
But it filtered out so many people.
Yes.
Yeah. In
Yes.
terms of business, there's so many closed down.
Absolutely.
There are so many old brands as well. They all closed down as well.
But you know what's amazing? There are so many brands and people that made also a lot of money during this period.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's
I can
mad.
name you few.
Yeah. I mean, me personally as well. Yeah.
E-commerce skyrocketing that time.
Payments.
Yeah. And then I believe the medical, like
Top
glove industry, they were skyrocketing at beginning, but doesn't look that good.
Yeah. Now.
In the end, even like MCO 3.0, they don't really look that good as well.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these businesses, they scaled so big. Their teams grew so massive, so big during the COVID period to obviously cater to all the demand that they were getting. And then when things started to normalize, these companies were still left with huge overheads, big team, but less customers to.
I also heard like Shopee, right? Probably last year, right? They tried to lay off like 200 something over people, manpower, staff in Malaysia.
For these same reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were expanding too fast during the lockdown.
Yep.
And then, by the time it's all relief, everyone just stopped ordering food from a Shopee.
Yeah.
That's very unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now we're at 1 hour 30 minutes mark. Anything else to share, Carlos?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any health advice for the mass?
Of course, yeah. I think not to promote my business at all, but I think on the topic of resistance training and lifting weights, I think it's very important as we get older. The moment you hit your 30s and beyond, it is very important that you exercise, but B, you need to find resistance training solution, or you need to lift some form of weight, because as we get older, that is also that's when we start to also lose muscle mass. If you're starting to think of starting a family, you want to be able to be strong enough to lift them, run after them, pick them up, put them down, carry them with one hand. All these things are is why lifting weights is very important. And the more you get older, the more important this becomes. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there who are into fitness, fantastic, but they really just love the cardio aspect of it. And that's fantastic, because a lot of people, getting them to exercise is always difficult. But you should also start to consider lifting some weights, even if it's body weight stuff, body weight squats, push-ups, something for your body to feel some weight.
Yeah,
is important.
I have during my workout time, right? During my era of working out very frequently, I told my friends I work out. I do look like I work out at the time. And you know what? Two annoying statements that really annoys me. I want to see what's your take on this. I'm sure someone tell you this before. Dennis, I don't want to work out too hard so that I look too big, too bulky. I don't want to work out too hard because I don't want to be too bulky.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, if you work out too hard, your muscle, become firm. Then when you're old, you become saggy. What's your take on these two statements?
The first statement, who says that? Mainly guys or girls, or both? Both, yeah.
Both, yeah.
So on the girl side of things, I mean, that's very common. A lot of girls, they say that they're scared to lift weights because they'll look like a man. But the truth is, unless you're taking enhancements or steroids, for example, ladies don't have the amount of testosterone that men have, so they won't get big and bulky, you know. And what I will always say if a lady says that is, if you were to show me a photo of the celebrity, your dream celebrity, female celebrity that you want to look the most like, believe me, they work out. I mean, their mode of exercise is not 100% cardio. They lift weights, you know, and they have a great body like that because they lift weights, and they're not big and bulky. They still look very feminine, right? Guys, I get that mainly when, like, for shorter guys, because shorter guys, they feel that if they get bulkier, they look smaller,
shorter.
they look shorter.
Yeah.
It's really an illusion. End of the day, I mean, it really depends on how they want to look. I will still suggest that then you don't need to lift so heavy, you know. You just lift some weights, it's okay, right? But the first statement that you said really more applies to women.
Girls.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
girls, right?
yeah.
Maybe they just have a wrong impression, like probably they look like...
Oh, they see female bodybuilders.
Yeah, it's like for example, WWF, China.
Yeah.
That's a very good example.
I mean, these girls, they
put some enhancement, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
To
But
look
anyway,
like that.
China passed away a long time ago. And there's a not very good example.
Yep.
But it's very, very hard for you in terms of mentally and physically for you to get there. Yeah. So...
But I tell you what, actually, one of the trends this year, which I'm very, very happy about, that I've noticed from one of the recent studies, fitness study, is that women in the weight room ladies in the weight room it's becoming a bit more of a trend now, and we see this in the gym at the moment. We're seeing more and more ladies mustering up the courage to step into the gym.
Lifting weights?
To lift weights.
I'm happy with that.
And of course, our group classes are still dominated by women, but you're also seeing a segment of these ladies now having enough confidence to step into the gym room, which is predominantly guys running the floor, right? And it's because they are starting to realize that it won't make them big, and that their celebrity crushes lift weights, so I'm gonna do it, and it's sexy. So that's good. That's when you know that we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I feel that trends are slowly shifting. It will take some time, but I'd like to think that less and less women feel this way. Lifting makes you bulky.
Which is a myth.
It's a myth.
Yes, a false myth. Yeah.
Big myth. Yeah.
And what about the second statement? What's your take on that?
So what was the second statement again?
Second statement is like they are men and women. They're so worried. They work out on chest. They work out on some muscles.
Yep.
You know, when they do not work out, when they stop, it becomes saggy.
Yep. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because I do have friends who when they lift weights, they really look solid.
Bulky,
but when they take a break, they will become, they look more flat and maybe a bit more saggy.
Flappy.
Yeah, but I mean, the way I would say it is you wanna don't lift weights to the point of it's just for a 3-month period to look good for a wedding or a trip. You want to make it your lifestyle. Yeah. And for example, myself, I've worked out so often that even if I take, let's say, a month off, I won't look very different from when I first stopped, because my body is just used to working out. So 1 month break is just a very little changes. Maybe I'll lose some muscle, right? But I've built it into my lifestyle so much so that I can afford to take these 1 month breaks and come back and get back into it. But I would never encourage these crash programs to get you to this certain fitness goal and then just stop completely. You know, I think to these people who lift very heavy and they get big, and when they stop they get saggy, it's also not very sustainable.
I think that is when they have some examples like bodybuilder shape, right? That's like monstrous shape.
Yeah.
I don't think that will get there when you're natural.
Yes.
It's pretty tough to get there.
Yes.
If you get that hard, you work out that hard, probably the best you could is athletic. Bulky but athletic, but not in the monstrous bulky.
Yep.
Right. It's very hard to achieve that as well.
Yeah.
Even then with an enhancement, you need to have very proper diet, proper discipline.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To get that monstrous size, right?
I mean, that's another misconception. A lot of people, when they see these crazy figures, they just say steroids.
Yeah.
That's cheating. But regardless, even if they're taking steroids, you're not going to look like that unless you put in the hard work.
Yeah, unless you put the same workouts as them.
Absolutely.
I saw Ronnie Coleman, right? That guy has never stopped, right? Last time. He's walking on a treadmill having a meal.
Yeah.
Dude, 2 hours of having a treadmill and still having
He's
a meal.
Still eating.
Still eating because you cannot have a calorie deficit for competition, right? I mean, that level of determination is another level, 10 more levels than the mediocre person. Right?
But then again, he's getting paid to do this. And
he's a professional.
And that's also why he was very successful, I suppose,
So I believe unless you work out that hard, then you get saggy. That's normal because you work that hard.
Yeah.
By the time you pave your way, work out that hard with that amount of money you spend on nutrition and stuff like that, then probably you don't want to give up.
Yeah.
It's very hard for you to give up.
Yeah, I mean, to which case I will say you keep exercising, but it doesn't need to be at that intensity.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think so.
Make it sustainable.
Yeah.
You can't lift heavy and do that day in, day out for the rest of your life. Nah, that's not sustainable.
Yeah, I think working out is more like a lifestyle, healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a must for your body.
Yeah. Like now I work out for very different reasons. I don't work out to lift heavier or look big. I work out because I know it's healthy for me. And I also still want to look relatively fit. I still want to look like I work out, but I don't need to the extent of, I'm huge, So, and more so the mental aspect as well, because it clears my mind and it helps me sleep. And then I have a clearer mind to work as well. So
when you work out after post hard workout, your mind is super sharp, right?
Oh yeah.
Your reflex will be super good as well, and you think straighter. Then when you have a 1 week break, you eat a lot of rubbish.
And you feel sluggish.
You feel so sluggish. You're bloated. Your mind is like all the negativities, right? Yeah, I can feel that, man. I can feel that, man.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, thanks for coming.
Thank you,
Such
Dennis.
a great, lovely session to meet up with you again.
Yes.
And talk about this. And hope all the best for your second location up and coming.
Thank you very much.
All the best, and hope I can, hear from your news again. You're in your third and fourth and fifth. You're doing great.
Fingers crossed.
I hope you.
We start with number 2 first.
Yeah, we start with number 2 first. When in future, if you have number 3, number 4, come back, man. Let's talk again.
Oh, for sure.
You're another person.
Our conversations will be very different then. Yeah.
And your mentor should be another person as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and thanks for listening, man.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate your time. Thanks
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.